We begin with breaking queer news. LGBTQ plus history, as Laphonza Butler will be the first openly LGBTQ plus black woman in the U.S. Senate. Today, California Governor Gavin Newsom shocked America, saying he will appoint Laphonza Butler to fill the vacant seat left by Senator Dianne Feinstein, who died this week. Butler is the first black woman and mother to lead Emily's List, an organization that helps Democratic women win elections. She was a labor union leader and also advisor for Vice President Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton's presidential campaigns. She also worked for AirBNB and was a member of the University of California's Board of Regents. Newsom said, quote, "Butler has spent her entire career fighting for women and girls and has been a fierce advocate for working people. She will make history, becoming the first black lesbian to openly serve in the U.S. Senate." End quote. Since June 28, 1969, we have seen many milestones achieved in the fight for equality and acceptance of the LGBTQ plus community. Today's moment is another brick in that wall. Well, really surprising news to me. It was not a shock that he was going to appoint the interim seat, which will run through the end of 24, a black woman. He's been saying that for, if the time came that Dianne Feinstein would step down, that's what he would do. It caught everybody in shock that he made this selection. I also think it's interesting in his choice because in the same week, in parameter of time frame, he announces he's going to do the debate with Florida's Governor DeSantis. And there is this battle coming November 30th. Presumably it's going to flesh out on Sean Hannity. And they're going to compare and contrast these two emerging younger political views in America. One, the California governor, one, the Florida governor. And I just think it's interesting that not only does he make this bold pledge of saying, well, we're going to have a black woman represent the most popular state in the interim seat in California. It's going to be a queer LGBT, in this instance, black queer woman. And that is a direct contrast to Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida. So you see what's brewing here, and the two choices that Governor Newsom, I think, is putting in front of a larger audience in America, far beyond the borders of California.
I love Gavin Newsom, aside from being sexy as hell.
He really
anyway, no, right? He's gorgeous. But anyway, but it would be something that he would do, right? Because he is like the counter opposite of Ron DeSantis, right? If DeSantis is black, Gavin Newsom is white. Like, it's just how that is. Now, a couple of questions. So he appointed this incredible black lesbian to be in this spot until the end of next year. What happens then?
There's an election, and it's interesting that he selected her because there is going to be an election. Dianne Feinstein presumably made the decision not to run again for the seat. She was 90 after all, and going through the medical issues she was going to. So candidates are forming that are going to run for that seat. Now we will see if Butler makes the announcement that she is going to run for the seat while she is serving as California senator, but there are others. And so what's going to happen is in November of next year, there's this little thing called the presidential election going on, and this seat is going to be in the election mix. We don't know yet. This is only breaking news today. If Butler is going to do it, there are other candidates announced, but that's what will happen. So the election will take place in November of 24 next year for the new Senate seat for 6 years to be seated in 2025.
I mean, it just shows how awesome Governor Newsom continues to be. And you're right, like everything that DeSantis does, Governor Newsom always comes out and shows how we can do it better and how we can be on the right side of history.
Like a human.
Like a human.
Like a human. Gavin Newsom is a human. You know, I'm obviously I want to hear what Adriana says, but I can't wait till we get to the day where it's not, hey, it's the first black or brown person to make this. Like, you know, I'm so tired of that. You know, it's the first black trans person to do this. You know, like we've been breaking ceilings all throughout. I can't wait till that's just the norm. Hey, Adriana got the job. That's it. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, I think that is an amazing bullet point. It's an amazing soundbite because most of the news outlets today are talking about the focus of the appointment and who she is and uncovering all of the things. If you look back at some of the pictures, if production shows some of the pictures, one of the pictures, can you show the picture with the Christ embracement? I just want to draw attention that Butler came to Florida campaigning in Florida. That's her, standing in front of a Charlie Crist and also the candidate in Miami, Annette Taddeo. And so she's been intricately involved in Emily's list in LGBT support of community in politics for a long, long time. His appointment is interesting because it's a dog whistle for the community, for our community, to say, this is the future of me in national prominence of candidacy. Governor Newsom's step. I'm embracing LGBT. Compare and contrast to a governor in another state that says he did it way better than California did and is doing everything he possibly can to speak against Black community, to speak about against the gay community, to speak against the trans community. It's a complete contrast, and I think super interesting to what we're going to watch, not only next year, but for years to come.